Do you hear that? Silence. Do you have any idea how long it's been since I've been able to make a video with complete silence in the background? Ah, yeah, it's been way too long. But anyway, hey guys, I got my new camera. It came in earlier than expected, which was a very pleasant and very welcome surprise as far as I'm concerned, because I have been waiting and there's things that I wanted to share that I wanted to be able to clearly get the messages across. And now I can. So, God bless you guys. I pray that you're all doing well in Jesus' name. And yeah, I might have some videos regularly coming out. I'm not saying that I'm going to put out like 5,000 videos or like any very large amount or even kind of a large amount of videos, but anyway, I'll just keep them coming as the Spirit leads me to share a few things that I've learned. And so in this first video, I think I'd like to just talk about love and how important it is and what having love does for you and like how effective it is, really. I find that when it comes to people that are non-believers, one of the most effective things that I find is to definitely let love shine through and to just show them that you're willing to listen to them, that let them know that you're not any better than they are and that you're not, trying to force them to believe as you believe, but just simply share what God has done for you in love. You know what I mean? Just say, like, hey, I feel like, God has done this for me, and this is how I know that He's very much real. Share that with them openly and lovingly, freely. Like how Christ died for us freely and He gave us that gift freely. Explain to them that the gospel isn't limited to just me or to just you. It's not like a Christian club thing where God only loves like these people but not those people. But just showing them patience and openness and willingness to hear like just the kind of life that they lived and what they're used to, and just do your best to be understanding. And that said, I find that you can always tell those who have love in them apart from those that don't, because there's a way that those who have love in them are. Like they have humility and, they are very humble and they're not proud in any ways, because living a life of love, of putting your neighbor ahead of yourself, it is a life that legit, it calls you to, it's almost like it forces you to be humble once you understand that none of us deserved what Jesus Christ gave us, but that He was willing to do this for us. And just when you see just how wretched you are, like as far as before you get saved, before you start following Christ, it's like, wow, the Lord, it's like He held on with me even in that time. He still was willing to pursue me and reach out to me until I got to this point here. And, loving your neighbor, like I was talking about, like, for example, when let's say that someone does something that people of the world will respond to viciously, like, for example, if you take your typical person in the world, have someone call them a name, call them something outside of their name, they might eventually, or like, sorry, not eventually, immediately defend themselves and call that person a name back. But when you love your neighbor, it's like you don't do it. You don't call them a name back. You don't try to one up them. You don't try to, embarrass them or anything like that, because like in your heart and loving them, you don't want to do that. And like the Bible talks about the last days, how people would be. It says in detail how people would behave in the last days. So this is no surprise to us, that people have grown cold and that the enemy has just like really turned up his attacks things have really been amped up against us, especially us who follow the Lord, because we're the ones that are here making a difference by following the Lord. So of course, like attacks are going to come, but when you're in love, it just like kind of forces you to humble yourself. It forces you to take hits and turn the other cheek, so to speak. But when you do that, it really does like, it's like it breaks down the walls of the enemy. Like a lot of times people who act like that, they haven't been loved, or they have experienced rejection, or experienced being left out or abandoned or something like that. And so it's like, I saw this movie where like one of the characters was told something like, oh, well, maybe you're just so afraid of like being hurt that you just or afraid of being disliked that you just decide that you're gonna dislike everybody else first. And I was like, I know it was a fictional movie, but it just kind of made a good point. How some people, it's like they don't know how to love because they haven't been loved. And so by doing that, by loving your neighbor, it's like you are showing them what love is like. You're showing them the nature of love. You're showing them the power of love. And especially if they knew you as like a non-believer before and they see how Jesus Christ touches their life and how you transform, then they're gonna want some of that. So that's why it's so important to love not just the non-believers, but even among like the brethren. Love your brethren. Be long-suffering and be patient. Don't be quick to attack. Don't be quick to point a finger. Just try to understand each other. Try to be willing. Try to demonstrate all of the characteristics of Christ, all those fruits of the Spirit, which if you're walking in love, if you have the Spirit of God in you, you're automatically going to be demonstrating those things anyway. So that's just like my what's up, guys. I got a new camera and I wanted to talk about a few things, my intro bit, I guess, to the chain of videos that's coming, because I have actually been getting some very big lessons, some of which have still blown my mind, that I can't wait to share with you. But anyway, remember, love each other. I love you guys. You know, we serve the King of Love, so I just feel like we should definitely act like it. And I wanted to share it with you guys. God bless you. Bye-bye.